Good, we are live. Acha. So, one story before we start on the actual one. So, there is one friend of mine. Okay. So, he wanted, he has a school. He is doing a different kind of school for children in a village or a small town. So, he took me to somebody's home just last few days ago, and then when we went to their home, he is a writer and is a journalist and all that, so he wanted a small write-up about me so that he can give it to the children. And that is, my friend wanted me, that journalist, to write up about me for 1.5 pages and give it to him so that he can then give it to the children. So whenever I go to that place, the children can identify and they can ask me questions. Okay. Now the way I was introduced was very funny. The way I was introduced was that I know Pali from my birth. Okay. So now if somebody listens to it, what that person will feel that I teach Pali. Then in the car, I was explaining to them that, look, when you introduce, don't say that I know Pali. Whether I know Pali or no Pali, it is of no use, because it's like saying that I know Kannada very well, or I know Marathi very well, or I know Sanskrit very well. It doesn't matter. That is not the question. The thing should be, this person knows in depth of Buddha teaching is the thing what should be told, rather than Pali. So I was telling them. So then 2 days ago, this gentleman called me saying that, look, this assignment, when are you coming? So I messaged him this morning. So I told him that, look, thank you for this. A write-up about me is not going to help the children. A write-up about Buddha is going to help the children. Clear? So I suggested him that we should give a write-up about Buddha. Hello, Shreyas.
Hello, sir.
Okay. So we started, so we'll continue. So I told him that there is no write-up for me. What will they write up? The write-up will be, I know Pali from my birth, and it is a God's gift, or this gift or that gift, and I am able to translate or understand and go into the depth of Buddha teaching. It doesn't do anything. What will it do to somebody? Even if I were to give it to you, that 1 page write-up about me, and it is published in somewhere, and I give it to you, what it does? Nothing. You will only come to know that I know Pali, first thing, and I know Buddha teaching. Only 2 things you will come to know. But how well and all that, you don't come to know. So I told him that for the children, the only thing that should be said is, this person who is going to come, whenever he is going to come, knows a lot about Buddha. You can ask him anything related to Buddha. That will create an excitement. That will create an interest, rather than that page. So I told him that I am not going to give any time for you to write about me. So I am going to tell my friend that I am not interested in this, because it's not going to help me, nor it is going to help the children also. It's of no use. So this is what I would be communicating. Why I told you this is, once you go deeper into Buddha teaching, you will come to know what should be done and what should not be done. So there is no point in asking somebody, are you a Sotapanna, are you a Sakatagami, or an Anagami, an Arhat? You will come to know from that person itself. Let us say you are following a Bhante. You go twice and you see him, what he is teaching. If he is opening the book, reading out, and everybody sits and they nod and they come back. No point. Why? Because you are not gaining anything out of it. Maybe he'll teach in some other way. That's okay. If a real person who has achieved something will be able to speak in such a way that it makes whoever is listening, it makes them feel there is some stuff, there's something in that person, okay, and he can show us the path, not my path, whatever is the Buddha. Okay, now if I claim I know all about the teaching is wrong. If I claim that I don't know is also wrong. I can only say that I am practicing. And till here I have reached. And I am also doing, just like you, I am also doing all hard-earned efforts to get beyond where I have reached. That much I can say. But that doesn't mean that somebody should follow me or somebody should not follow me and all that. Even if nobody follows me, that should be okay. And if thousands of people follow me, is also okay. I don't have anything to take or leave, because it's there in the sutta. So if we don't question the Bhante, then we are not doing the right thing. That doesn't mean that we keep on questioning everything to the Bhante, but what I'm trying to say is that you need to be sure, or anybody needs to be sure, that they are following the right Dhamma and they are following the right Bhante. Not that Bhantes are bad, they are also in search of it. So if I follow someone who is still searching, it's of no use, because I am also searching, he is also searching. That's a basic thing. Okay, now there were two questions which I received, so I will answer to that. Maybe I'll also close the what I can say, video, then the transmission will be good. So two questions came to me. One is on what is the meaning of Brahmacharya, because yesterday I was using that word a lot about Brahmacharya. So the person wanted to know what is the actual meaning of Brahmacharya. So it is from two words, Brahma and Acharya, or Charya is to do, and Brahma is the realm. There are two ways of achieving this Brahmacharya. One is by following the 10-fold path, right from Samadhi to Samma Vimukti. That is, will take you directly into Arhat. So that means you have completed what you are supposed to do. So your Brahmacharya is done. Okay, this is the ultimate. Intermediate is Brahma Vihara, the 4 dwellings. So Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekha, these are the 4. So if we are able to establish the Brahma Vihara through removal of Dasa Akusala, then that reaching from the Puttujana or Pattujana to Brahma, wherein you become a real holy person. Holy in the sense that you don't have any bad things at all. Then we have reached the Brahmacharya. So this was one question. Hope that answers to that person who wanted it. And the second question from the same person is that what is Sankhara in a correct way? So I was telling him it is a volitional action. So now let us understand in a deeper way what is this Sankhara. We need to consider the night as ending, meaning when we start Udayangama and then Atthangama. So Udaya is the starting, like the sun, that is the sunrise, and Atthangama is sunset. In the whole day we are doing Mano Sankhara, we are doing Vachi Sankhara and Kaya Sankhara. All the three Sankharas are being done. Now what is that we are going to do is that we are going to observe that by the end of the day, all the Sankharas are literally void of its essence. Whatever I did in the morning is not available now. It is gone into memory. Whether I thought something or I did something, I spoke something or whatever it is, it doesn't even matter. So all of these are Sankharas. Right from brushing the teeth till sleeping is a Sankhara. Now what we are interested more is a Abhisankhara. That is when I use the will, discretion to do something. Let us say I want to watch a movie. Now there is a volitional action. That means I have willed to do that. So when there is a will, I will find out the way to do that thing. So it becomes an Abhisankhara by itself. So we have Punyabhi Sankhara, Apunyabhi Sankhara, Anenjabhi Sankhara. So these are the three Sankharas what we can have. So if I go to a religious congregation and do some religious thing, it becomes Punyabhi Sankhara. If I go to a movie and enjoy my time there in that melee of whatever is happening, then it is Apunyabhi Sankhara. But if I use the same time for entering into jhanas, then it becomes Anenjabhi Sankhara. Okay, but when Buddha says that all Sabba Sankhara Samatho, that means treat all the three Sankharas, that is Kaya, Vachi, Mano Sankhara in Abhisankhara as same. It doesn't last at all. It arises and passes away, no matter what you do. So it eventually creates dukkha. So it becomes Sankhara dukkha. Dukkha dukkha, Sankhara dukkha and Viparinama dukkha. That is, I want to enter into the first jhana, not able to pass that first jhana because of Viparinama dukkha. I want to enter into second jhana, but unfortunately I am not able to enter the second jhana because of Viparinama dukkha. So there would be doing that effort itself is a dukkha, that is doing that jhana is itself a dukkha. Then I am doing a Sankhara dukkha, but I need to do all of that required to enter into jhana, and then I need to get in, it's not working, so that becomes Viparinama dukkha. Same thing with Punyabhi Sankhara. I want to go to a religious congregation, or I want to go and listen to a desana or something like that. So I wanted to give you another example here. Today I had gone to this Mahabodhi in Bangalore. So I wanted to buy, instead of sitting and translating myself this Patisambhidda Magga in the Khuddaka Nikaya, I thought that if somebody has already translated into Kannada or English, then I can buy that book, and then few things I need to correct, but other than that 90% of it will be correct in terms of translation. English will be around 60-70%, but any of the Indian languages would be at least 90% correct, and the 10% the deeper meaning wouldn't be known, so I will put it. That is a Abhisankhara. Now when I went there, I could not find that book because they have not even done it. So going to the Mahabodhi is a, let's say, Punyabhi Sankhara, because I could have used that for something else. I could have gone to a movie, I could have gone to a theater show, or I could have gone to a mall, I could have bought something, I could have gone for a restaurant, and all that is a Punyabhi Sankhara, but I have done a Punyabhi Sankhara. But whatever it is, I come back home, that effort what I have taken is gone. There is nothing that is left in that. Whether it happened in the way I expected it to be, or it did not happen in the way I expected to be, the Sankhara is just a Sankhara. So this is what is the meaning of Sankhara. Meaning, then there is the definition of sankhara. So if we go by the definition of sankhara, what is that it means to be a sankhara? If we were to go by that, we can see that there is uppada, arising, there is passing away, vayo, and there is sthiti. It stays for some time, but it becomes anyatha, otherwise. Meaning, you can really see slowly it becomes something else while staying as though it is there. So let us say when I'm going to Mahabodhi, that experience of Mahabodhi from my home to the Mahabodhi society is around 5 kilometers. So when I'm driving, the Mahabodhi seems to be fixed. That's Sankhara. So there is this sthiti. In Sanskrit it becomes sthiti. And in English it's like you have stability, existential stability. So it means there is a stable foundation. So that remained till I reached Mahabodhi. And I was excited to go inside and look at the book. When I asked him that, do you have this Khuddaka Nikaya? He said yes. Then I was looking at tables, the books what he has, and then that one what I was searching is not there, and he doesn't even know that something of that exists. And he was talking about what exists in his store, and then I found out that he doesn't have. So it ends there, meaning vayo. Then what next becomes the sthiti, my home. So I'm driving back home. Now that becomes the sthiti. So once I come back home, that is vayo. Udayangama, udaya, vyaya, sthiti. This is called as sankata in sankhara. Okay. So when you do a sankhara, everything is conditioned. That is sankata. I can keep on doing whatever I want, but it is dependent on the condition. If the condition matches, it gives you the result what you want. If the condition doesn't match, doesn't give you the result what you want. So there are two dhatus. One is a sankhata dhatu, another one is a asankhata dhatu. In the asankhata dhatu, there is nothing arising, there is nothing staying, and nothing passing away. All the three are not there. That means there is no sankhata, that means there is no sankharas. So that is the reason Buddha says anicca vata sankhara. All sankharas are arising and passing away. Uppavaya dhammino. These Dhamma will arise and pass away because it has uppada and vaya. Uppajitva nirujjhanti. That is one who sees the paticsamutpada completely, that he sees the arising of it and he also sees the departing of it. If he is able to see both of them, te san vupo samo sukho, that person reaches the ultimate peace. So in all sankharas we can see this happening. Anything, right from marriage to not marrying to divorcing to going to office or remarrying, eating, sleeping, judging someone, judging this, doing that, anything we take between this and that is a sankhara, and that sankhara is dependent on the sankata condition, and it has three conditions. There is a uppada, vyaya, and titi. And there's another way to define it, is called uppada titi bhanga. The vyaya is also bhanga. It departs completely without trace. So even in the hunger we can see there is a uppada, that means there is hunger arising. It stays for some time, but it keeps on changing in a different way. and you find bhanga. And once the food is partaken, there is no longer hunger. Same thing we can now consider between going from one room to another room. Uppada, I am in this room. Now it is Titi. I came to the room. Now I am in Titi. And the Vaya is when I leave this room. So then the room itself is gone. There is no room left. Then another room has arisen. And that room is having uppada, because I have already gone into that room, so it is sankhara, it's conditioned. So now the new condition is that I am in that room. And Titi, I am in that place, and it becomes Vaya. So it passes away. So when I go from here to kitchen, I can name it as kitchen, but actually what is happening is it's actually uppada, Titi and Vaya or Bhanga, which is the sankhara, the nature of things. Everything is like that. So asankhata is not having this nature itself. So when we get into asankhata, is that I don't consider it as a room. So there is no movement, only the mind moves. So if there is no mind movement, then you are in asankhata dhatu. So the experience of asankhata happens little bit in the sotapanna state, something more in the sakadagami state, and really more in the anagami state, and continuously without any break in the arhat. With that, let us come to a nice topic before we continue on that what we were discussing. So we will first understand what is moha. First is that there is dukkha, that itself is not known. Everything what we would like to pursue has a great bit of expectation, great bit of dissatisfaction, great bit of worry, great bit of anxiety, great bit of fear. Can be anything we would like to pursue in our life. We'll go through all of these. So I don't even know that something is like that, and it is going to lead to dissatisfaction in whatever I do. Then I don't know the cause of the suffering. The cause itself is not known. How it arises, that I don't know. The dukkha, how it is arising, I have no idea. Then I don't know how it goes away. Then I don't know the way it can lead to removal of that suffering, anxiety, fear, and all that. And also absence of knowledge of ultimate beginnings for all beings, how everything started, what was the cause for everything to start, and we not even know what is the end, how beings can end their suffering. And also the absence of both the ultimate beginning and the ultimate end of beings, how the beings come to be and how the beings are ending their present life and going to next life. That is not known. Why? Because they don't know idapachayata. What it means is that absence of knowledge of specific causality and paticca samutpannesu, that is dependently originated dhammas, that is not known. Idapachayata is the formula for patisamutpada. Iti imasmim sati idam hoti imassa uppada idam uppajjati iti imasmim asati idam na hoti imassa nirodha idam nirujjhati. This formula is not known. What it means is that if this happens, if this is there, then that happens. If this is not there, then that is not happening. So that is what is the meaning of idapachyata. So then we will see what all is in absence. Absence of vision, the truth, yatha bhuta jnana, is not there. Then absence of proper understanding, absence of wakefulness. That means when world sleeps, you are awakened to the reality. Absence of awakening, completely awakened person. Absence of penetration. And then there is absence of comprehension. Then there is absence of scrutiny. Then there is absence of discrimination. Absence of reflection. Then there is stupidity in all of us. We treat what is unreal as real. Then there is foolishness. Then there is absence of awareness. So these are called as the moha, delusional aspect, which are very dense, and they are insensibility, sammoho, causing avidya, flood of ignorance, creating bond of ignorance, and anushaya, meaning latent tendencies towards ignorance. Then it will arise with ignorance and creates a barrier of ignorance, which is the root of creating unskillful qualities, and that is what is called as delusion. So first we need to know perfectly what do we mean by the term moha, delusion. So this is what is known as moha. That means I don't know the first noble truth. I don't know the second noble truth. I don't know the third. I don't know the fourth. I don't even know how the beings are coming or getting formed and how the beings are going away. The arising and passing of the beings are not known. Then I don't know the idapachayata, meaning the specific causality and dependent origination of dhammas. Then I don't have the vision, I don't have the proper understanding, I cannot have the wakefulness. I am always in a very sleepy condition. And I cannot get into awakening, I cannot get into penetration, comprehension, scrutiny, discrimination, reflection, stupidity, foolishness, not having the awareness, creating delusion, denseness, which covers up everything and making it insensibility and causing ignorance, flood of ignorance, bonding of ignorance with latent tendencies towards ignorance called as anushaya, and uprising of ignorance, which becomes a barrier itself into ignorance, the unskillful root of delusion. This is what is delusion. So what it really means is that if somebody says that you don't have a wife, I'm doomed. That is called as moha. If somebody says that you don't have a job, then I'm doomed, because I treat the job so seriously. And somebody says that your place is not there, then I'm doomed. Believing that my place exists for sure, the country exists for sure, I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning for sure, everything is a delusion. Because when we wake up, let's say tomorrow, everything is changed. The weather is changed, the ideas have changed, the body has changed, everything has changed. But the person still feels that he is the same person as he was yesterday, which is what is sammoha. So he gets into this very stupid way of considering. Sammoha is moha to a level that they cannot understand anything. I cannot understand anything. It's my money, it is my bank balance, it's my job, it is my family, this is my this one, that one, all of that is mine. To an extent that I don't want anybody to take anything from my plot or land or building or whatever, because I have paid taxes. It is mine. I'm a very faithful what I can say person who pays tax to the government in time. I'm a well-abiding citizen, which itself is a moha. Now with this moha, what happens here is, when we have this kind of moha, it creates the nivarana. Varana, nivarana means curtain. It covers up beautifully. So there are 5 things which cover up, which is the first thing after knowing the dissatisfaction and all that what we spoke earlier to correct. One is kama chanda. So we will do till 8 p.m. and then I'll stop, and maybe tomorrow we can take up the remaining if we don't complete. So first is kama chanda. So what is a kama chanda? It is from 2 words, kama and chanda. Chanda means intention or a desire. Actually chetana is intention, chanda is the desire. To do kama. Kama is picking something from the senses. Then what really it is? Let's say a sight is there. Then I have named that sight as beautiful or ugly. They both are kama. Then I have something sound coming up to the ear. Then I have named it as a nice sound or good sound or a bad sound. Then that is kama. Then the taste comes, that some food comes. Then I have named it as a good food or a bad food, good taste, bad taste, and hence it is kama. Like that. So what it really means is, kama chanda means the sensual desire. Kama raga means extending the desire into feeling feverish of picking it up. That is the meaning of kama raga. So when we say kama raga and patigha, kama raga here is you feel feverish of either having it or moving it away. Let us say I don't like the person and I feel uncomfortable. That is kama raga. If I see a person, I feel so attracted that I want him or her to be mine. That becomes kama raga. Then we have kama nandi, which is sensual delight. Then there is kama tanha, which is craving, sensual craving. Kama sineho means infatuation, sensual infatuation. Kama parilaho is the actual fever. Now you feel feverish in the raga and it becomes unbearable and you really have a sensual fever in the parilaho. Then you have kama mucha, which is sensual languishing. I languish, I yearn for that sukha. Kama josana means, josa means attachment. So after enjoying that, I feel so attached that I want it to be there all the time. And I'm always excited by the pleasure of the senses. And this is called as the hindrance of sensual desire. So when we talk about kama chanda, we need to split that into ka plus ama. Kama, which means ama means what is putrefying looks very good. It doesn't see. You can't see it. Ka means bad. Ka ama is what is good is treated, what is bad is treated as good. And you start enjoying it. Let's say I have a friend. Now I'm so attached to the friend that whatever he does, I do it. Or whatever he asks me to do it, I'm doing it. Then in that case, what happens? If I'm going to do whatever he is wanting me to do, I lose control. So in kama, normally the person loses control of what he or she is doing. Get so much immersed in that object of the senses that everything is forgotten. Let's say I'm watching a TV show. Let us say India has talent, or America has talent, or UK has talent, or something has talent, and I'm enjoying it. Those people who are coming on the screen. That is kama tanha and kama chanda, kama raga, all of that. And if I keep on watching it, then I've created this kama parilaho, that means fever. So we call it as fever. Even advertisement comes with that. Here is the fever. Music fever, this fever, that fever, because it is really that kama. Then I feel so attached that I love that serial whenever it comes. Or I'll go to YouTube and see it. And this is the biggest nivarana. So how should I remove it? The only way to remove this, the only way to remove it is by pachavekkhana. That is what we did yesterday and day before yesterday on looking at why am I wearing the dress, why am I eating, why am I having a residence, and why am I taking medicine. That is the only way to come out of kama. There is no other way. So pachavekkhana has to be completely established. Otherwise this kama is going to cause a lot of injury within ourselves. Then we come to the second one, vyapada. So now what is ill will? Sometimes it is called vyapada, sometimes called vyapada. Vyapada is, so vyapada means is stepping down. Pada means steps. Vya is to go down, go. So going down. Instead of going up, the person goes down. How does a person go down? A person will go down through ill will. bad intention. Why does he go through bad intention? Because he's pinched that somebody has got something, or somebody is going to harm him something, or something is going to harm him or the friend or whomever he thinks will be harmed. So he basically has a harm. He creates harm for himself and he thinks somebody is going to harm him also. So first thing which happens is it takes a shape of resentment. In Pali it is called as aghata. In most of the Indian languages it remains the same as aghata. Then he thinks that he has done harm to me, or he is going to do harm, or will do harm to someone dear and precious to me. He doesn't want to confer a benefit. He doesn't want to share the benefit with me, or will confer this benefit, will give this benefit to a person whom I dislike and I object to it, but yet he would like to put it to that person. Or when I'm getting annoyed, maybe the person whom I thought will be coming early is not coming, or the person comes late and he doesn't apologize for coming late, or the waiter who was supposed to serve the food does not serve properly. There is an annoyance, and without any reason it just spurts up. So I can give you my own life incident to tell you how this ill will works. So when my son was few years ago, I don't know how old was he, at least around I think 8-9 years or more ago. At that time the metro in Bangalore had just started, the metro train, and everybody were excited to take a train ride to the last station. So we also wanted to do that. So we took a train and then we went to the last station, and we didn't have anything else to do. So we didn't even come out. We just walked out and looked at a terminal, and we were supposed to take the train back and come. And suddenly, from nowhere, for whatever reason, I got very wild with my son and wife. That was never expected, and they were shocked, and there was nothing they did to annoy me actually, but still I got annoyed. There was absolutely nothing, if I could remember, that they did for which I was so upset, and it lasted for around 5 minutes till I took the ticket, and after that it went away. But this funny incident shows that how this annoyance just comes up. So ultimately, all such vexation, indignation, hate, antipathy, abhorrence, mental disorders, detestation, anger, fuming, irritability, hating, hatredness, getting into a mental disorder, getting upset for no good reason, to an extent that the person would like to go and hit that person, creating opposition, hostility, very chilling behaviors, abruptly cutting somebody off, disgust of the heart. This is called as ill will. Now, what is the solution for this fellow? What can be done? The solution for this fellow is that we need to develop metta. Now, I will be talking about how to, I think we spoke about it earlier on when we looked at the 10 dasa akusala, where all the animal kind of thoughts arise or habitual patterns arise. So we need to really look at it and see how this affects our life to go into the uppavaya. That's the only way you can correct, or I can correct, the vyapada from not arising. But this is the second one, which is very difficult to master. Then what is thin and mida, sloth and inactivity? So let us first distinguish between sloth and torpor or inactivity. What is sloth? First thing is that a person is not in a position to get into a state which is looking like indisposition, cannot be disposed, and he is having very stiffness of the intellect. He sticks to what he thinks is right, no matter whatever you say, and he is adhering and cohering, clinging and cleaving to whatever is the stickiness there, and he doesn't want to move an inch from whatever he thinks it is, and very stiffening, and you can see his body is also stiffening along with his mind, and a very rigidity of the intellect. So this is called as sloth. So what is this inactivity or torpor? Of the senses through the body, and now a shrouding of the shoulders, enveloping or covering himself up, barricading within, and he will look very sleepy. He will be yawning and yawning and yawning when somebody is talking, feeling very drowsy. So when we go to a meetings, we can find that we immediately get into this inactivity, torpor. We cannot participate. The moment there is no participation, sleep automatically comes. Then drowsiness takes over from the mind also. So then he can't, his intellect is closed. So even though he is not sleeping physically, his mind is sleeping and he is in slumber, and that is called as torpor or inactivity. Finally, how to eliminate that? You can only eliminate by putting energy, virya. So this is the maximum, this is the maximum time one has to spend. So if he is feeling physically sleepy, take a walk. If he is having mental fatigue, take some good breaths, start to hear to whatever the person is saying, fight the inactivity inside. Then we finally come to this udacha and kukucha. What is this udacha? Is excitement, which creates the restlessness, and kukucha is worry for things which have happened. So the excitement of the mind, which is not in a very quiet condition, it's in agitation, it's in turmoil. This is called as kukucha or restlessness. And what is worry? Within the consciousness called as guilty consciousness, thinking that what is lawful is something that is unlawful. It shouldn't be there like that. That means to say that I have paid taxes, they have charged me more, or this fruit vendor has charged me more, or something has been charged more, or something like that. These are called as, what is lawful is not is created as unlawful. And what is unlawful is actually lawful. So now I will say that, look, what is the problem if I do this? Anyway, this country is gone for dogs, so we don't have to do this. So that again, what is unlawful is lawful, and what is lawful is unlawful. And similarly, what is immoral becomes moral, and what is moral becomes immoral. And after doing all of that, this sort of worry that I shouldn't have done it, I really don't know how it happened. I have cheated many people in the past. I don't know what is going to happen as a consequence of it. I only hope God doesn't give me a punishment. In fact, I have done a lot of good deeds also. So God then takes care of the good deeds what I have done and removes the bad deeds what I have done. And then I become overly scrupulous, meaning overly concerned, and become very remorse of conscience, and create a mental scary image that what is that it is going to happen. So this way of looking is called as worry, which is kukkucha. Actually, it is from two words, kukkuacha. Keeping it so near that you feel very much concerned about whatever is happening after the event has happened. The person keeps on drooling on that, it shouldn't have happened this way, I told him, he did not listen, and because of that I did it. I don't know what is the consequence of it, what will the police think, what will my neighbor think, what will this guy think, what will that guy think. And then what if I have parked my vehicle here? So many people park their vehicle there only. Never they have taken, only mine only has been taken. This is unfair. They have cut open my road. I have paid tax. What is the point in paying so much of tax? Next time I'll not pay tax, or I'll make so much of noise saying that why should we pay tax when you are not able to maintain the road, and something like that. All of these are called as worry. And when I go and do something very much stupid, then I come back home and start repenting for it. I shouldn't have done that. So all of this is a problem. So the only way to get out of this is by going into jhana. Here the jhana is the most important thing. Go into first and second and third jhana. Then only this udacha kukkucha is going to go. Otherwise it will not go. Then we have the visikicha, skeptical doubt. So one, I have a doubt. Two is that I'm really perplexed about the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha and the discipline. And not only that, I am very much concerned about the past outcomes, and I am very much doubtful about the past and doubtful about the future, and doubtful about both past and future. And I am also doubtful about whether an assignable cause can be stated or not. Meaning, how did it all happen? Who created the world? I have a doubt. Whether the world is going to exist after I go away or not. And when will the world cycle go away? I have a doubt. How would I get the doubt? How did I appear here in this place? Please resolve my doubt. What did I do to be here? So it is kind of this doubt, this working of doubt, this dubiety, meaning looking at this and that, how this happened, no, why this happened. Who gave permission for this to happen, and what could have happened, what should have been done. I have a doubt. And not only that, I am very much puzzled at the way it has happened. And I am really perplexed. I am distracted and standing at crossroads, not able to take a decision. and I'm uncertainty. I can see uncertainty here. Everything looks moving. Everything looks so bleak. The future looks very bleak. I don't think so I can continue staying like this. I need to evade. I need to hesitate. I don't think I have a capacity to right now do something, so I call it as brain dead or brain fog or something like that. And I'm having stiffness of the mind which I don't want to accept. And I'm also worried, I'm also concerned, I'm also really feeling pitiful about the things how it is, and it scares me that I will be taken for a ride because I doubt whether this way of doing is the right way of doing. And this is called as skeptical doubt. So this doubt can be only be resolved through the buddhanusati, dhammanusati, sankhanusati, jaganusati, like that. So there are 6 anusatis. With that only it is possible to extinguish. So buddhanusati, dhammanusati, sankhanusati, silanusati, chaganusati, devatanusati. These are the 6 satis which needs to be practiced in order to come out of the visikiccha. And in fact the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha itself is sufficient, but other 3 will certainly help in removing everything. So there won't be any visikiccha at all. Once we are out of this visikiccha, the kayagata sati will get properly established and the penetration will start. So this is the thing what we need to do. Any questions before we close?
No, not from myself.
Okay.
And from my daughter.
Okay. Fine then. So we'll meet tomorrow at 6 p.m. Is that okay time, or shall we meet at 7?
6 is fine. Sunday tomorrow, I can't tell you right now. I will tell you tomorrow.
Okay. So if we can't, then we will do one thing. We will meet on Monday only. Better. So tomorrow let us take off.
Yes, fine.
So we will reflect on whatever we have learned, and then we do that.
Sure.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Namo Buddhaya. Bye.